It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. There is not a single cloud in the sky, and it's nice and sunny. So this is actually a requested video. It's on the topic of drinking. Someone asked me a question on my Formspring if I would do a video on my views on drinking, and since I haven't actually made a video talking about alcohol consumption and my thoughts on it, I said, why not? So here I am outside on this beautiful Monday sunny day, enjoying the sun, and I just got back from exercising, so if my hair looks wettish or greasy, that's because I've been sweating a lot. Anyways, my views on drinking. I have a very strict view on alcohol, and this isn't because of any religious reason, it's because, alcoholism runs in my family, and I've had family members who have died because of alcohol. Alcohol addiction just is rampant in our family, and it's not something that I really want to get into. That, and I cannot stand the taste of beer. I know beer is, you develop a taste for beer, but the one sip of beer I had just repulsed me. I don't understand how people can even develop a taste for something that tastes that horrendous. But in terms of drinking, I don't have a problem with anyone drinking. When I've been invited to specific parties, and it depends on the party which I'm invited to is which I'll go to, because I know there are certain people who I know who drink, who, when they have a party, that involves them getting highly drunk. And quite personally, I'm not someone who thinks that drunk is a good thing. I'm against people getting drunk, and I say this because someone I know was killed was from a drunk driver, and I take it very, very seriously, and I just find that if you become drunk through drinking, it's very irresponsible. And sure, people can be funny while they're drunk, but in most cases, the majority of most cases, people who become drunk, they have eternal consequences. And I don't mean eternal as in biblical, I mean eternal in the sense that they'll take someone's life, they'll have sex, and they'll have no memory of it, and then have a child. That's what I mean by eternal consequences, because when you're drunk, you do stupid things, you don't remember it, and it's just really, really irresponsible becoming drunk. That, and I'm against being drunk also because, and whether you believe this or not, that's fine. I believe the Bible makes it very clear that drinking is perfectly fine. After all, Jesus did in fact drink wine. I still remember a debate I had with a pastor on the topic of alcohol, as he was trying to argue with me that any Christian who drinks any type of alcohol is in sin. And he was one of these, I guess you would call legalistic pastors who, and when I say legalistic, I mean they make a set of rules that you can't do this, and if you do this, you're automatically in sin and you're going to hell. That's what I mean by legalistic Christians. Anyways, I got in a discussion on the topic of alcohol, and I presented him with the passage where Jesus drinks wine, and he was trying to argue that it was grape juice. And I'm someone, when I study the Bible, specifically verses in the Bible, I study the Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic of the origins of words, and in the Bible it referenced Jesus drinking wine. So if you take the word wine and you research the Greek, Aramaic, and Hebrew, biblical hermeneutics, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with that, but biblical hermeneutics is what it's called, you can find that the origin of the word wine involves alcohol, and that back in the biblical times, how they made alcohol was through grapevines, obviously like grape juice, but it was, I don't know is it instilling? If you instill grapes, and then over a certain matter of months or years, it actually turns into alcohol. I don't know the exact process, but I was trying to explain that to him, and it was a completely pointless discussion, because the pastor already had his mind made up that any Christian who drinks alcohol is in sin, and I disagree with that. I believe the Bible makes it very clear that you are not supposed to get drunk, and if you get drunk, that is, technically speaking, in biblical Christianity terms, sin. And I believe I understand that there are a lot of people on this who are watching this who do not believe in the concept of sin. That's fine, but in terms of Christianity, I do, and that's one of the reasons why I choose not to get drunk if I was to drink, but although I'm against drinking just in general. I will say with an exception though, I like wine, and I have wine's actually healthy for you, so I don't see any problem with drinking wine, although I've never actually had a full glass of wine. The time I did drink wine was I went into my grandma's refrigerator, I poured myself a glass, about that much, half a glass of wine, and then I got 7-Up and I poured 7-Up into the wine glass, so it was a mixture of alcohol and 7-Up, and it was actually really good. I'd definitely do it again. But yeah, wine's good for you. I don't see a problem with drinking wine. Plus, I've heard it's a lot harder to get drunk on wine. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I'm definitely the type of person who I would have a glass of wine for some special occasion or some special dinner or some special engagement. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm not for large alcohol consumption. Since it runs in my family, I've had people in my family die because of alcoholism. My uncle drowned in a river because he wasn't being watched, and he crawled out the back of the window because my my great-great-grandparents were drinking, I believe. That's what they were doing. They were doing something where they weren't watching my uncle, and my uncle crawled out the back window and drowned in a river. So when it just comes to drinking and getting drunk, I'm against it. And like I said, getting drunk is very irresponsible, and I will say on camera right now that I don't plan on getting drunk, and for the most part, I will do anything in my power not to get drunk, just because of the things that happen when you become drunk. In fact, my family actually has a rule set up that we do not allow alcohol in our house, refrigerators, or closets, because my mom and dad realized that alcohol runs so rampant in our family that even to have it in our household would be not a good idea. And honestly, I respect them for that decision, because the reason I'm so restricted on alcohol along with my Christian parents is because of what it's done in our family. We have extended family who are rampant alcoholics still, people who died in our family because of how much alcohol they drink. And I think if you take that into perspective, you can kind of understand why I hold and my family holds such a stricter view on alcohol. And again, I'm not against people drinking. I've been around people plenty of times who drink. I've been to parties where people drink, but if I'm at a party and I see people becoming drunk, that's usually my cue to leave, because I don't want to be around people who are drunk because of the things that happen. So I realize that this is kind of a short video, and I don't know. I just wanted to make a video clarifying my views on drinking, since I've never, out of 365 videos. By the way, I've made 365 videos, which means you could watch a video of mine every single day for an entire year, which is rather crazy. But I've made a lot of videos, and I've never actually talked about alcohol before, so now you know my opinion. So with that said, I'm Mr. Repzion, also known as Daniel Sulzbach. Peace the rep out, and I am off to go make myself a very big breakfast of pancakes, bacon, and eggs. Talk to you guys later. Peace.